Here are my thoughts with the DJI Action 5 Pro after using it for 1 month. So let's start the video now. So the backstory behind me getting this DJI Action 5 Pro was because initially I wanted to buy the Osmo Pocket 3, as so many other people also want to as well. But the main issue with doing that was when I checked on Amazon, not only Amazon as well as a variety of other websites, it seems like there's one common thing that they all had in common, and that is the Osmo Pocket 3 was sold out. So then obviously there is only one other solution that probably made a lot more sense. Rather than getting the Osmo Pocket 3, it was to either get the Action 4 or the Action 5. And so with that, I was actually originally going to wait in order to just get the Action 4. I thought that camera in itself was okay and there's pretty much no problems or issues with it. But then I was scrolling through Instagram and then an ad came up for the DJI Action 5 Pro. I never expected myself to get this camera, but since Costco had sort of a bundle and it came with the extension cord I'm using right now, as well as an SSD card, or an SD card, excuse me, it was kind of a no-brainer and it was around $500. So with this camera in my hand, I have literally nothing but good things to say overall about the DJI Action 5 Pro. I like to shoot personally based off a YouTuber, which I'll attach the link either on this video or down in the description below. I use those specific settings and I tend to like it a lot. So essentially what they are 4K, 30 frames per second. I do have rock steady mode on, and the key and most important thing I like to do is keep it on the Pro version. I personally like to color correct in post-production, and I personally do that via the DJI Mini app. Unfortunately, when you do get your DJI Action 5 Pro, you do need to download the app if you want to be able to use it. The stinker part about it is it's like so much space. I don't remember how much space it was, but it was just like a crap ton, and that was kind of annoying. But once you get past that sort of part, when you're on the app specifically, probably add this on the B-roll, you essentially click on the color graded tab there, and then when you do, all of your footage will change, and that's sort of the footage I use at this moment in time. And what I like to do based on the YouTuber, kind of just follow the way they did it, but I like to put it in minus 0.3V. I feel like that looks a lot cleaner and better. And I do also like to put it in the textures that you'll see in the B-roll. Action cameras tend to have an over sharpness to them, so if you don't do this, then it's going to be your backfall. And I think it's very important for you to be very cautious about the over sharpness of this camera, because as we already know, if you shoot without it, it's just overly sharp. And not only that, if you don't use Pro mode, oh boy, it's like an oversaturated nightmare, even if the HDR setting isn't on, which I think this camera does have, but there's no way in heck I'll be using it because color grading doesn't even take that much more time. It's something I would rather do. Looks way better, more professional, and the normal shooting in this camera is just not so great, to be honest. If you want normal shooting, you're better off with the Action 4, and you've probably heard this information before. I'm not the first to tell you. On a side note too as well, I think today's a fantastic day to try out the Action 5 Pro in water type situations, because I've always been walking around Calgary in very clean weather, no rain or precipitation, but today it seems a little on the twilight looking side, you know what I mean? Like Pacific Northwest, rainy side, so I'm glad. Side note, the grass is super green today. Don't get used to it if you live in Calgary, because in the summertime, it can be mad dry. Alrighty, so as I previously mentioned before in another video, I also am connected with the DJI Mic Mini, as you can see right here. It's been really great for me. Being completely hands-free has been pretty goated. As I previously mentioned before in another video, connecting to it is super duper seamless, very simple. All you need to do is go to your settings tab, click on wireless mic, click on either one or the other. I only have one mic, so I just click on X1, click the power button on the Mic Mini, and then I click the button above it, which is kind of like a Bluetooth button. Simply connect it, and then after that, everything's successful. So one thing that sort of initially enticed me to the DJI Mic Mini was a lot of the advertisements upon it being, oh, it's super tiny and small and seamless. So I personally thought that would be fantastic for my food reviews, because I shoot like a 15-second food review on my shorts side of the channel, and that's been doing pretty well for me. As we previously mentioned before, the DJI Osmo Pocket 3 is super hard and super expensive to find, so getting the Action 5 Pro is probably the better choice. And to mention too as well, I've been filming a lot of shorts with it, and let's just say it's been really fantastic for me. I do shoot in 4K 30 frames per second, and by the way, on the Pocket 3, if you want to shoot sort of vertical, it's only 2K, so that's a pro with this camera. I do admit though, like when you do shoot some of the food reviews, the camera is a little wide, so you do get too much space. So what I like to do is just move a bit closer to the camera so I can go a bit closer, and that tends to do a lot better for the algorithm on YouTube. Sort of with a little bit of editing via like CapCut Pro or just CapCut, I tend to make the videos work, and then I find a way to make it successful and work out sort of for what I need. In terms of the camera quality and satisfaction with the DJI Action 5 Pro, I do have like one thing that I don't like a lot, and this might be with all the action cameras. It's sort of the zoom in feature. So If you're looking to zoom in and to close up on something from a far away distance, this is definitely not your camera. This is more for on the action stabilization and stuff like that. But I find that when I'm trying to show people something from a far distance, that's super duper difficult because it's like really dang far and it'll look like a little speckle like this. So, I mean, I could just zoom in on the after post-production or like click on ×2 zoom. But the issue with that is it's really hard and complex to get to on this camera here. So in the end, I don't end up doing it because I can't be asked, can't be bothered. So I just don't. And a lot of my footage when I'm trying to show people sort of things is like zoomed out and not super duper clear. But to be honest, overall, I'm like incredibly satisfied with this Action 5 Pro. I don't only use it for vlogs, I use it for my food YouTube shorts, and I use it for some breaking clips too. I find for me, the quality is like super duper perfect in terms of my food needs and food shorts and vlogging needs. And I also mentioned this in previous videos before, but I'm just so happy that I can sort of just not be super duper careful with this camera, because with the Osmo Pocket 3, of course I would have to be more careful because it has a gimbal system. Camera is such a joy. It looks super duper clear. I do like, even if I jump like right here, relatively stable and rock steady. And though it's not a gimbal, for me it's like steady enough and it's to satisfaction, and I can just sort of point and shoot and go on about my day. Oh, another thing too, the battery life is way better. With the Costco bundle, it comes with magnetic sort of attachments, and with that comes, like I mentioned before, the extension rod and just like a mount as well as an extra battery, and that's been like super great for me. I'm not super worried about the battery life of the Action 5 Pro because one, the battery is fantastic, and two, even if I do run out, I'll have another one ready to go, and it's just really great. I think with the Osmo Pocket 3, I believe it doesn't have nearly as good of a battery life, and yeah, I think this is just way better. Like I didn't mention this before, but the camera has also a lot of other cool features as well. I had the opportunity to try motion tracking, and that was pretty cool, but to be honest, in terms of like what I do overall, it doesn't deem itself as necessary for me. So even if I had the Pocket 3, which I heard is better with the motion tracking, I wouldn't even use it. I wouldn't be asked to use it. But I think in low light situations, I've had the opportunity to try this camera. It's good. Like you can see things very clearly compared to like people's phones, stuff like that. But the only issue is when you're looking from far away, like I mentioned before, you can barely see anything. People look like speckles. So this is more of like a close-up sort of camera, so to speak. Zoom is not the best. Also, I think this camera has itself a camera system for photos. Although the quality isn't nearly as good as just your phone camera per se, I have the Google Pixel 7, and a lot of the photos that I take are a lot better on the Pixel 7 versus this Action 5 Pro. It is cool to have that feature too as well. I don't know if the Osmo Pocket 3 has pictures, but yeah, I'm sure it's glad to be able to have the Action 5 Pro. I'll show an example in the B-roll. I think another pro to the Action 5 Pro versus the Osmo Pocket 3 is having internal storage, like around 40 gigabytes of internal storage. More than that, I don't know if it's like 40, 43. The point being is you can sort of point and shoot the camera and then instantaneously go on and about your day. But the good thing with the Costco bundle, it did come with a 120 something gigabyte SD card, and I'm currently using that right now, and it makes my life so much easier. But yeah, it just goes to show that I think utility wise and keeping your camera safe and protected, being able to not have to keep your camera super safe, having internal storage, and then you being able to use external storage, easy connection to the Mic Mini, good quality, flexibility. Like although I'm super far away, you'll be able to still hear me with the Mic Mini, and you just have the complete flexibility to move the camera around with the extension rod. I don't think this is something the DJI Osmo Pocket 3 is able to do, and it's just super great. But yeah, I would highly recommend this camera to anyone who plans on buying it and stumbles upon this video. It's worth it, and I think it's personally better overall of a choice, cheaper than the Osmo Pocket 3. So if you've been thinking about getting this camera, just do it. Honestly, it's totally worth it. And let's get to the outro now. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Please be sure to leave a like, comment, and subscribe. Sort of be on the lookout for more content in the future, and peace out.